We were, to echo Dylan, so much older than when we were 20. Lofty ideals, great ideas, and not a clue. We decided to live in community. Well, vague on many details, of one thing we were sure: we needed to take turns cooking and eat together. Some madness is holy. Well, memory not to be trusted. This is what I remember. It was the night that Jim and I cooked up that soup. Honey and barley and water and an awful measure of celery. That was the night I remembered. All afternoon we labored and something kept going wrong. First too much honey, then too much barley, and then something burned to the bottom. At supper that night, there in our little community, all of us at the table, abiding by an unwritten covenant, ate one modest bowl apiece of that soup without complaint, and still so much was left. We looked at that large pot. It was Paul Williams who rose then, with a dignity befitting an elder in a Quaker meeting house. Rose with a certain presence and simplicity. And the rest of the company stood too in unthinking unity. And Paul led the way through the kitchen door. Soup pot borne aloft at the head of the swift and solemn procession. Some madness is holy. Someone at Paul's instructions grabbed a shovel. We stood in a mystical circle in the backyard of 710 College Avenue. Paul Williams presided as at the center a deep hole was dug. It took two, it seems to me. Took two strong people to pour the awful remains into the hole. It was Paul. Face serious, eyes strangely joyful, who was our priestly presence that night. Some madness is holy. Now our paths drifted apart not long thereafter, and for more than a generation, not much contact, until a couple of years ago we swapped notes. Then I got this letter from our friend Max that Paul died. Max later told me he had gone to see Paul in the hospital, that Paul had written long notes to him when he could no longer speak aloud, and in turn Max had sung Paul's own songs to him there in his hospital bed until the nurses were convinced that Max was mad. Some madness is holy. Well, I didn't write the note soon enough to send it to you, Paul Williams. So in lieu of that, I send it to our friends to thank you for what you taught us. We were 20. It taught us how to say goodbye, to burn soup, the stuff that is too often our common lot. You did it with solemnity and forgiveness, and with that gleam in your eye, and you taught us to. Some